he was with Kimberly for, to promote his career, right? Didn't he?
That is exactly why he pushed me to do the show, because of his singing. And then he did the same thing with, he tried it with Zara first. Let's back it up a little bit, John.
So Zara was an issue like when you were with him.
Zara, no, she came right afterwards.
Okay.
But my question is, why has nobody, and I mean no one, questioned, the story is based on a K-1 visa, why Usman has not come to the United States as of yet to date?
I've questioned it. Oh, is it not to me? I don't know.
Well, I thought it would be common knowledge. I honestly did. I thought it would be common knowledge.
Lisa, what's the answer to that question?
Usman was denied twice by the USA embassy.
For what reason? For why?
Because he couldn't prove strong enough ties to return to Nigeria. Because at the time when he applied for the visas, Usman was in the military. He was in the Nigerian Air Force, and he applied as a military man. But why hasn't Sharp Entertainment pushed for him to do a K-1 visa and come to the United States?
Well, they can't, because you need to be getting married first, right?
Exactly.
Babygirl Lisa was on John Yates' stream over a week ago, and there were some interesting things that were talked about, including Usman being in the Nigerian Air Force and being AWOL, being denied twice a visa to enter the United States, the reasoning why he had Lisa as well as Kim Menzies on the show with him, as well as a lot of embellishments about his relationship, and the idea that since him and Kim are no longer together, that he might try and find somebody else. But the storyline with Kim and what happened with Lisa is kind of played out, so maybe he'll go at a different angle. So we shall see what is gonna happen, because this was a very interesting interview. It showed that Babygirl Lisa, aka Lisa Robinson now, and not Ham, since she's married since April 2021, she outed Usman for having fake relationships and trying to be the number one story within 90 Day Fiancé. So, if you guys don't remember, once again, Usman was in the Nigerian Air Force and he did apply twice for a visa to enter the United States but was denied. Now, the question is, why hasn't he tried getting a K-1 visa to enter the USA? That would make sense, right? Especially when he was with Kim for a decent amount of time. I mean, why not?
So Lee, okay, so do you think that like Usman will be back on the show with somebody who's, maybe someone who's not in the same age bracket as you and Kim?
Yes, I do believe there's going to be another season with him, and it's going to be a younger woman. It will be an American. That will be a younger woman that he will bring to Nigeria again. No, and I don't even believe they had sex. I believe that was all staged. Because when I was there, John, not to toot my own horn at 56, but I will.
Hey, toot that horn, girl.
Several times a day, and it wasn't me pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kim is in on the joke? Like, did she
yes.
love him?
I think Kim and Jamal both are in on it. They do.
So, I kind of think the same. Like, I can't see Kim, just being like, oh, hi, I'm a super fan.
Nobody can be that naive. The way he talked to her and degraded her. When he said about her stomach being big, I'm like, you little cocksucker, that's what you said to me. Karma's a bitch. It will come back to bite you.
Sorry. When, when you guys were together, right? Did he talk to you about like how he wanted to usurp Angela and Michael? It was like that is like long playing, like
yes,
long.
That was discussed before I even got involved with it, and Usman was explaining to me about who Michael and Angela are. I've never watched the show, John. I didn't know what it was about. So I'm like, who the hell's Michael and Angela? So I started searching it, and he's like, I want to be bigger than them. I said, look, them two are rocking the scene. I said, they're top notch. I said, we are rookies. You're nowhere going to be compared to them two.
Kim and Usman are no longer together now, so what is he gonna do? Who will he get next on the show? Babygirl Lisa is saying, hey, another woman from the United States, maybe someone a lot younger, since having a partner that is significantly older isn't a storyline he should go with, since that's already been done twice. It seems also that Usman really wants to usurp Michael and Angela, and I guess that is why Angela and him have issues. I mean, deep-rooted issues. They don't see eye to eye, they don't get along. The whole scammer thing keeps being brought up because Angela is like, he's a scammer when she's talking about Sojaboy, but the scammer thing usually is talked about when it comes to Michael. So I was a little bit confused, but this actual interview kind of makes things less confusing, because once again, the issues between Angela and Usman Sojaboy run deep, and it does begin with money and ends with money, because don't kid yourself, it's not about the scamming thing. It's because Angela and Big Ed are staples on the show, and Sojaboy wants that #1 spot, and he will do anything and everything to get that #1 spot. He will get it by any and all means necessary. Now, the question is Kim and Sojaboy Usman's thing embellished or just flat out fake? Well, a lot of people have been saying it's heavily embellished to flat out fake for a while now. Like his ex, Babygirl Lisa has been saying this for years. I mean, look at the breadcrumbs, look at the trail.
Okay, well, we did the Nigerian law marriage, and then we did the Islamic law marriage. Yeah, I was hooked. Our divorce just went through, John. What was it? Not even a year ago? 2 years, was it?
What? Okay, but you never, like, I know, like, when, like, you were, like, when it was over, like, you were like, we did a live, me and you, like, maybe a year or 2 years ago, I don't remember. And you were like, I asked you about the marriage, and you're like, well, I'm not married here. And I said, well, what about Nigeria? And you go, that's his problem, which I laughed my ass off for.
It is his problem. I don't have to worry about it. I don't care. If my name stays on the books to the day he dies, I'm not going over to Nigeria to finalize any Islamic divorce. I know I have my guy who worked the court system over in Nigeria, the Nigerian consultant. Usman had to pay for the whole divorce. They asked me for money. I said, tell my soon-to-be ex-husband pay for it. I'm not going to dine out for it. So Usman had to pay for everything.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think Usman was on this show? What happily, like, so to take the crown away from Angela?
His idea was he wanted to be a household name like Michael and Angela was. He wanted to dethrone Angela.
In fact, he's been obsessed with Angela, and since Michael has,
before we even applied for the show, yes, he has.
Michael was like, Lolo was also from, I believe, Nigeria. He married Kia. That was season 4, many moons ago.
Yes,
but I think Lolo is the only one actually ever got here. To be honest,
yes, that is true. Now there is a Nigerian fixer that Michael has probably talked with. His name is Bolo, Bolo.
Well, the only Bolo I know is the stripper from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I don't know if that's the same guy, but if it is,
no, this is a Nigerian guy. He lives in Nigeria. But you asked Michael and Angela about Bolo, because he's usually one of the ones that travels with Sharp Entertainment.
Even Usman himself has said that, hey, this show is just all entertainment. Don't take it seriously, right? Do not, because we've had stuff about Zara. I even did a video about Zara saying that she just didn't want to participate in a show that could really show her in any light possible. And since you signed the contract, then hey, you gotta just do what you gotta do. And they could make you seem like a great person. They could make you seem like a shitty person. They could make you seem like a weak, timid person. Anything and everything could happen. And Zara wasn't about that. So, as Lisa has said, Kimberly decided to, be a part of the show. And she was a big fan of Sojaboy, a super fan prior to their romance. And viewers were getting to see how their relationship came to be more than a year after news broke about his split from Lisa in May 2020. And remember, he made a song for Lisa. Was that the I Love You And remember, Sojaboy is a musician. And it seems that he was served with divorce papers in December 2020. And having since hinted their divorce has been settled following Lisa's wedding to her new husband, Tracy Robinson, in April 2021. So what's real and what's fake? What is going on? Does Sojaboy have the cojones, so to speak, to usurp, take the number one spot away from Angela Deem and Michael, because they are a household staple. And Angela Deem is a very divisive character on the show. So is Big Ed. You're either gonna like Angela or you're gonna not like Angela. In fact, some people might even use the word hate, but hate is such a strong word for a person you may or may not know. So a lot of people don't like Angela. They think she's too over the top. They think she's too much. They think she is aggressive, rude, mean, nasty. You can use any descriptor here for what Angela Deem is. Same thing can be said about Big Ed. Rude, mean, gross, toxic, etc., etc., etc. But if you take away everything from the show, what do you have left? People are on the show for a reason, right? The whole scenario is get your partner into the USFA. But if you strip that away, then there's the money aspect, right? And the money aspect is, hey, this show can make me something, can make me a lot of money, can get me out there, can get me sponsorships, like, get hundreds of thousands of people to add me on Instagram, get hundreds of thousands of people to see and hear my music, get hundreds of thousands of people, me in front of them, get people to, buy cameo sessions, get sponsorships. There's a whole wealth of money to be had by being on the show, but not only being on the show, but by being the number one couple on the show, or being the number one person on the show, whether or not it's male or female. Right now, once again, it's Angela Deem and Big Ed are in the lead, but Sojaboy is right there. Before, when Sojaboy was with Lisa, he wasn't anywhere in the lead, but his plan seems to be working. He's trying to usurp Angela Deem, and Angela Deem ain't liking it, because I'm sure Angela Deem is very well aware of what's going on and what he's trying to do and whatnot. And Angela Deem has been progressively and often calling him a scammer, saying, look, he's given a bad name to Nigerians, and now that is why a lot of people are calling Michael a scammer. But the whole situation with Michael and Angela Deem is totally different and separate from Sojaboy, because Michael is labeled a scammer because of how Michael was doing the actions of Michael himself. Like, look at what trouble Michael's gotten himself into, being on Instagram, talking to other women. I know that even that could be embellished or just straight off fake to create and cause drama. If you are a avid fan of 90 Day Fiancé and you've been around for years, you can kind of tell what's real and what's fake, and you can sniff this out really, really well, is all I will say. Anyways, that is it. Once again, the whole interview was something. It had a lot of revelations that I will most likely do a part 2 on, so stay tuned for that. But what I'd like you to do is leave me a comment about anything that was revealed in this video. Tell me what you'd like to be revealed. Tell me what you think is the next step for Sojaboy Usman, since Kim and him have split up. I guess it's going to be a new lady from the United States coming in. Let's talk about it. Smash that like button, subscribe, make sure you turn on your notification bell, and I will talk to you later.